Welcome to week 2. And so this is going to be a fantastic ride uh, throughout sales letter land and throughout how to really write these things without writing them. So in in this module, we're really going to talk about we're going to recap week 1, and then we're going to talk about how to chunk this sales letter into assembly line copy. And so what that means is you're not going to have to write the whole letter at one time, and it's going to be really you're going to enjoy it, and I really think that you will. So, what happens after the headline? Well, the whole goal of the headline is, of course, to get them to read the next sentence of the copy, and that's it. So take a lot of the pressure off yourself right now of coming up with the perfect headline or the perfect words or phrases. Everybody is always asking me about, well, what's the perfect words and what's the perfect phrases and what's the best this or the best that. And there's really no best anything. It's just about putting a message in front of your market, testing it, and then refining it until you see the results that you want. So headline goals, let's go back over this really quick. Headline goals is to get attention and then stop the readers in their tracks, and then get them to read the next sentence of the copy. So if you're doing an article on how to grow amazing ripe avocados, but your market that you put it in front of is into stocks, it's not going to get their attention. They're just going to move on. But if you said, hey, growing avocados, here's 7 things you might want to try in your next time out in the garden. And so that would get their attention, stop them in their tracks, and then probably get them to read the next sentence. This one right here, a Dale Carnegie course, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the most famous books on business and relationships and networking of all time. It's all about serving people at a greater level than you are right now. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. Some of these older books, you hear about them and you're like, well, everyone's like, this is a book's amazing, and you get it and you're like, I don't see what the hype is, but this one really did a good job and lived it up to it. And this sold, I think this was a correspondence course, or this was a letter for the actual book. And so what they did was they just used a simple how-to headline, how to do something that they want to do, how to win friends and influence people. And so this next one is very famous. This is the longest print ad ever. I think it clocked in at over 6,000 words in the newspaper, which is, about a 30-minute read. So what everybody ought to know about this stock and bond business. What everybody ought to know about this stock and bond business. And then if you look below that, it says some plain truth about some plain truth about a simple business that often gets overlooked. It's not blowing up for me. Some plain truth about a simple business that often sounds complicated. So, what everybody ought to know about the stock and bond business is the headline. The subhead is some plain talk about a simple business that often sounds complicated. And then underneath that is, why are we publishing this information? So there's 3 things there, but the main thing that I want you to see is that it's what everybody ought to know about subject matter. So what everybody ought to know about podcasting in 2017. Some simple talk about a subject that people overcomplicate way too much. And then, why are we releasing this information? So all of this is adaptable into your own promotions. And if you look in this ad, it's very much chunked. So you got a subheadline at the beginning. Then you've got subheads all over the article that separate the paragraphs. And then, of course, the larger one is how to buy and sell. So, and it's pretty self-explanatory of this information is helpful and useful. And even if the prospect did not buy the course at the end of the ad, they would still walk away with usable information. And that's the whole goal of the kind of advertising that we're doing today. So let's get into going over a few of the frameworks again. So to refresh your memory, how to travel the world for free, even if you have bad credit. So that's, if we were doing this about the stock and bond business, it would be what everybody ought to know about the stock and bond business, even if they failed before. Or 3 simple tricks you should know about investing in stocks, even if you have high credit card debt. So how to get how to get big result, even if common objection. Become a successful writer without writing a book. So everybody assumes, this one's cool because it goes against common assumptions, that you have to actually write the book yourself. Become wildly popular with women without being wealthy. And then how to become a karate expert even if you forget complex routines. So again, this is sort of that, what you'll see my headline modeled on, and what you'll be able to use in your sales letter and your headlines. So headline formulas again, and I really want you to really write some of these down, use some of these in your headlines, and then send these back to me, and then I will review them. How to do something awesome without thing that they hate. How to craft sizzling emails which sell without hiring a copywriter. How to get, how to do, how to become, right? How to become a world-renowned poker player, even if you have dyslexia. How to sit at a poker table and win hand after hand after hand, even if you have, even if you're fidgety and can't sit still for more than 30 minutes, right? So how to do something even if you have common objections. So, and then we basically just come out, and sometimes we say, we come out and we say the basic benefit, like free book reveals XYZ, or free whatever reveals XYZ. So this one's Gary Halbert. Free book by 57-year-old swimsuit model reveals a top secret way to lose weight extremely fast. So I'm going to take some of these words out and read it again. Free book by a swimsuit model shows you how to lose weight. So again, I took a lot of the descriptors out of there. I took the 57-year-old. I took the word top secret, and I took the words extremely fast out of there. So again, I took away believability by taking away the age, and I grounded it in reality by taking away the age. So I basically said, hey, you're not going to be able to identify with this person because it has less specific. So I wanted to make the headline as bad as possible. So I took out the age of the woman. I took out the words top secret, and I took out extremely fast. So I took out the curiosity by, how is a 57-year-old woman a swimsuit model? I took out the, sort of wanting to gain esteem or wanting to know something that no one else knows by taking away the top secret word. And then extremely fast, I took away, how fast it could be done. So I took away some of the benefits. But you see how specific this is. So free book by 57-year-old swimsuit model. It's not just a woman, it's a swimsuit model. Reveals a top secret way to lose weight extremely fast. So if this 57-year-old swimsuit model, there's a lot of curiosity here. How is this woman a swimsuit model when she's 57 years old? What is this top secret way? And how does it work extremely fast? And then underneath the headline is the subhead. And this is cool because you can add these into your own sales letters if you want. This isn't in mine, but I might actually put it in, is this objection. So they're overcoming objections to why this wouldn't work right at the top of the letter instead of later on. So now at last, you can lose up to 10 pounds of fat and fluid in 2 days. So very specific, 2 days and 10 pounds of fat. Up to 1 pound a day until you lose all the weight you want. There's no strict dieting. You won't have to give up your favorite foods or starve. So again, do I have to have a strict diet? Do I have to give up my favorite foods? Do I have to feel uncomfortable? Those are all questions they're asking that this person is answering. In fact, you can eat all you want every other day. There's no dangerous medication to take. You don't have to do any exercise, and best of all, you can learn how to do this absolutely free. So again, they're saying like overcoming objections, like do I have to give up my favorite foods, and then benefit. So there's no dangerous medication. You don't have to do any exercise. So you could do a headline with a subhead like this, I just did one that's basically how to get 52% open rates even if you don't know what to write to make more sales. So yay without boo is the basic premise there. So new training reveals or new book reveals. So again, right here, free book by 57-year-old swimsuit model, and then new training reveals. So I could have said free video, but you get the idea. This one also by Gary Halbert right here. Believe it or not, a clean colon is the key. This amazing health secret of the oldest person in the world. So I don't really want you to focus on the headline right now. I want to talk about what happens after the headline, which is, dear friend, now look at this sentence. If you are interested in living a very long life and staying young and healthy, then this will be the most important message you will ever read. So this is a cool formula because it starts if then. If you are interested in, and the subject matter, a very long life or losing weight or being healthy, then this will be the most important letter you ever read. Here is why, right? And then it goes into the introduction. Here's why. Westminster Abbey is the most famous church in England. So again, if you want XYZ result, then this would be the most important letter you ever read. Very famous opening used by Gary Halbert almost exclusively until a lot of other people started to do it in their sales letters. And then that transition, here's why, right? So, and again, the transition, here's why, gets you to keep reading the next sentence. And you'll see I did this in mine after my headline. I said, dear friend, if you want to skyrocket not only your email results, but have amazing formulas for headlines and body copy as well, this will be the most important letter you read all year, right? So if you want to XYZ, then this will be the most important letter you read all year. Here's why. Okay. So that framework is the first thing, that if-then framework. And then you'll see down below that is when I start to introduce myself. So after you do the introduction of what we call dog whistle copy. So dog whistle copy is basically where you say, hey, if you're interested in trading stocks, or if you're interested in losing weight, or if you're interested in becoming a better parent, or if you're interested in finding romance this year, this will be the most important letter you ever read. So the headline and the first paragraph really call out, and we call it dog whistle because only a dog can hear that dog whistle. It's not meant for everybody else to read. It's not written for everybody else meant to consume. It's saying, hey, Lawton, and I turn around because only I'm going to turn around when someone says my name. So if someone says, hey, Bill, are you interested in trading stocks? And if I said no, then of course you wouldn't read the rest of the letter. But because if you're interested in writing amazing emails that sell, this would be the most important letter you ever read. If I'm interested in that, I'm going to keep reading, right? So here's why. So that is that dog whistle copy that you call out to the person that you want to read the letter. Getting a divorce, read this first, right? Dear friend, if you're thinking about getting a divorce and want to save all the money you can, and even money that your partner doesn't know about, then this will be the most important letter you ever read. Here's why, right? And then it goes into the beginning of the letter. So that's how you get them to go from the headline to the deck copy, what we call the deck copy, which is usually a if-then statement. It's a great lead. It gets them into the copy, and it gets you going. So the next thing we're going to do is work on the introduction of who you are and why they should listen to you. And then we're also going to cover a takeaway in the letter of who this letter is not for. So we want to repel people that are not suited for the letter, and we want to attract more people to read the rest of the copy. So in the next lesson, we'll get into that, and I'll see you then.